Well, I'm going to ask to elaborate on that because I don't understand. It wasn't that long ago that you could say, oh, well, it's been generations since that. And even then, you'd still have a responsibility to these people.
The mayor kind of like twiddles his thumbs a bit, and he says, "Well, what I mean by we're not the same goblins is that we're different now. We don't do the violence and all that sort of thing."
I understand that, but that doesn't completely erase what you did before. You have to make it up to these people in some way. If you've truly changed, that's the right thing you should be doing.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage. Oh, I'll roll it for you.
There we go. I think you let me. Maybe we'll see. 6 forever. Thankfully, next time we play, I won't be in a shitty laptop. It'll be a nice one.
Yeah, true.
Hell yeah.
Next time we'll have a decent connection. Hooray!
It's actually trying to roll right now. Let me show you. It's some red.
Oh, it's trying.
There we go. I think it went through.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to like.
There it is.
There they are.
It's way too long.
Okay. I think I'll roll them for now on, so we don't have like a minute and a half of waiting.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's fine.
Alrighty. Yeah, he says, well, that does make a lot of sense. What exactly do you have in mind?
I turned to Frederick and just kind of nod at him. What do you think? And once I hear what he has to say, I might suggest something. We'll see.
All right. Frederick says, well, I want the goblins to leave and give us back our town.
Oh boy.
But yeah.
Would you guys be open to perhaps living with the goblins? I mean, it's an option. They could just get on it and try to increase the size of the town to accommodate more people. That is an option.
Roll a persuasion check. Oh, I'll do it. That's right. Oh, never mind.
Oh, hey, that was fast.
Holy shit.
Oh. Is that bad? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I mean, it worked.
What was it? It doesn't show up for me yet.
It's 6.
Oh, no. Okay.
He says, well, it would take quite some time to build enough houses for all the people that we have.
But is this, like, can this be
Sorry, what?
You guys be like...
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was saying, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I need to just hold the phone like close to me. But what I'm asking is, would you be willing at all? Like, is this on the table at all? Are you willing to live with the goblins if that was possible?
Freddy kind of like...
I like how the goblin can't call him Freddy, but you can.
I can. I'm the DM. I can call it whatever I want. I was gonna say Frederick, but I was like, oh fuck it.
Pretty
Freddy.
Mercury.
That's. I mean, his name's Freddy Zink. Um,
Mhm.
Oh my
oh my
god.
god!
so he yeah, same. He says, well, I don't see why that can't be an option.
All right.
If anything,
So in that case, I'm sorry. I have a suggestion that could maybe make the way less tough for you guys. Since it's the goblins that are at fault, it would be fair to say that maybe during this time that this the arrangements in town are being dealt with, perhaps the town could help provide for you guys, since you guys seem to be economically struggling a little right now.
For the town to provide for the village people.
Hmm.
Um,
I understand that they're living in really bad conditions right now.
yeah.
So
yeah.
perhaps if the town could provide them with maybe some food and some money for them to be living in better conditions during the town is being expanded, that would make the wait less of a hassle, since they've already been waiting long enough.
The Frederick says, how long would it take for the goblins to build enough houses to accommodate everyone? And the mayor, he takes out another piece of parchment, and he takes out of the desk like an abacus, and he starts just sort of counting and doing the numbers. And eventually he stops and he says, maybe 3 months.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, you notice that on Frederick's face, like he's a little bit surprised by that number. And he says, you can build over 100 houses in 3 months. And the goblin says, I mean, I don't see why not. That should be doable. I'll just get everyone to work on it.
How many people do you have living here?
Frederick says, well, back in the warehouses in Passage, we have close to 200 people.
Gunther says, if we could speed up the process, we could also hire construction workers from the outside.
I mean, Frederick seems pretty cool with that number, but we could do that if someone was willing to put in that money.
I mean, we have lots of it. I don't think it's an issue.
Yeah, but does Gunther really want to do that?
Okay,
just
but if he's gonna be a
suggested
weenie
it.
about it, I'm sure that
Gunther just suggested it, so he probably is. However, he's expecting the group to contribute, not just him.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple of moments of silence as they both kind of contemplate this potential future of the goblins and humans living together in the same town. And then the mayor is he takes out a fresh piece of parchment and starts writing up a fresh sort of contract or agreement. You can see that most of it mimics sort of the first one in most of the wording, but the terms kind of change. Like it's to accommodate people, and they'll take on within the first month they'll take on about 50. After the second month, they can take on another 50, and then at the end they can take on the entire 200. They estimate. And he puts this forward to Frederick, and he looks over to you guys like with a look of uncertainty. Like he's not 100% like decided.
Lesyra, she attempts to communicate with just by looking at him. If they don't go through with this, I'll beat them up.
So so I guess an intimidation check on Frederick.
Okay, see how this goes.
I hope it's not a terrible roll.
Okay. I forgot that Lesyra with intimidation is like Gunther with his persuasion.
Oh, that's good.
Right.
Yeah, you see him like look back at all of you. Like he looks at Gunther, who's looking at him expectantly, and then there's Diana, who's looking at him the same way. Faye just looks kind of confused, and then he sees this entity glaring, crossed arms, just burning like holes into him with her eyes. And you see him sweating, and he gulps, and then he signs the contract.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. What I meant to say was I was trying to communicate to Frederick that she would beat up the goblins if they didn't go through with it.
Oh,
like reassuring him that she would make sure they went through with
I
it.
like the other one better.
Well,
though,
I mean,
just saying.
this is kind of what he took it as.
Okay, fair enough.
You roll bad insight.
If you roll at high enough intimidation, I'm assuming he's going to assume that you mean like at him.
I mean,
You can probably explain this to him later.
Yeah, you can clear the air afterwards. But yeah, he signs the contract. He just immediately with the pen and ink quill, and then he pushes it back toward the goblin. And you all hear like an audible sigh of relief from all of the guards standing around. And the mayor says, "Well, this is splendid. You're welcome to stay the night." And he's no, absolutely not. He's like, "Yep, okay, that's okay, good. Well,
Oh man, we don't get a party with the goblins. That sucks.
we'll
Do you really want to party with goblins?
We just party with drows, so I'm just saying.
It's different, I'm sure.
you could if you want to.
I mean, yeah, but you were dancing with like a really hot, really shredded drow prince.
Big titty goth GF, more like big shredded goth BF.
Bo? Who's Bo?
Green, give me some of that purple fever, son.
Oh god.
Oh dear lord.
So okay, so Perks stands up and he says, "Well, I'll get the townsfolk working on this immediately. If you could do anything to help speed up this process by providing aid with the gathering of the resources and the materials to make the houses, then we can probably get it done even faster."
Perfect.
And Frederick thinks for a moment. He says, "I can spare a good few people to head out this way and gather some wood from the nearby forests, and I can probably organize for some stone to be sent. If you can trade us your food to keep us going, then I'm sure we can figure something out." and they both stand up. They shake on it, and the Goblin Mayor says, "Yes, well, I'm glad we've come to an understanding. I will get this working immediately, and you can go and tell the people in Passage the good news."
Wonderful.
Is there anything else you guys would like to do before you leave?
Well, he doesn't sound like he wants to stay in the town, but
Yeah, he
do you
doesn't-
guys want to?
I mean, last time we didn't get to look around.
That is true.
You guys can stay if you want. Frederick says I can make my own way back to Passage. That shouldn't be an issue.
Excellent. Well, safe travels.
What do you guys?
Okay. I'll go and collect my horse and head back. And he bows his head to all of you and whispers a word of thanks before leaving. The Goblin Mayor kind of straightens out his desk and his paperwork, and then he looks up to see all of you, the rest of the party, standing there, and he goes, "Oh, you're still here." The rest of the
Indeed, we are.
the rest of the guards are kind of standing around, looking at each other, kind of confused and like, "Why are they still here?"
What happened?
I'm personally a little curious about like your whole setup you got going on here in this town, Goblin Town. That's kind of a new thing for me.
Well, there's the local inn and tavern you can stay at. I'm sure they'd be happy to accept your gold in exchange for drinks and lodgings.
What kind of drinks do goblins make?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
We can find out.
What kind of what? Sorry.
I said, what kind of drinks do goblins
Drinks.
make?
Oh, he says, well, we do have some leftover ale, but we do have other, well, drinks that we have brought from our travels, shall we say, from our heritage. And he says you can find all of this at the tap house there.
Well, I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm absolutely down.
Yeah, I'm also wondering how you make the town work, so I'll have a look around if you don't mind.
Come on, give them drink some
okay.
more.
No.
We've already got him started.
We're a bad influence.
The reason Gunther doesn't drink is because he doesn't like getting drunk.
I mean, he
It's
did hit the ground pretty hard
fine.
last time.
Huh?
He did
hit the-
okay.
He hit the ground pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, he did it because you persuaded him.
Yeah. So, you guys exit the mayor's office and go about investigating the town and looking around for this inn that you've been told about. Eventually you find it, and you can see that there's a lot of goblins hanging around now. They're just kind of like coming out of their homes and looking about. All the guards that were there disperse and wander about the town freely again. The tap house is called Dernda Rum.
Does
I
Di
see.
see this? Is like, hey!
Diana absolutely loves it.
She's like, the goblins are
We
all
have to
right.
go in now.
We have to go in. Have
Oh my
to.
God.
So as you walk in, you can see there are a couple of tables around And the goblins are drinking pretty heavily. Like you can hear them laughing and cackling, and some of them are drinking what appear to be mugs of ale. Some are drinking some other kind of milky liquid. And there's just a strong scent of alcohol coming from the room. And you can see there is one goblin standing on the other side of the bar. The same one who you saw leaving the meeting before you guys arrived.
Is he like important?
I mean, Diana has seen this guy before, and Faye's seen
Diana's-
this guy before.
yeah. Diana, Faye, and Gunther have all seen this guy before.
Wait, what guy?
It's the guy that came out of the office the past few times
Oh.
that you've been there.
Right.
What is he doing?
He seems to be like sort of cleaning out the mugs of ale, but he's doing like a really slapdash sort of job of it. Like he's sort of giving it a really quick wipe down and then putting it back.
Ew.
Oh, okay, he's a barkeep. Okay.
This place gets an F in the health inspection.
Oh god, yeah, like they're goblins. What do you want?
Sorry,
They're
gonna have to
trying,
close
but-
down.
They're goblins, but yeah. So after seeing that, do we still want to try some of the drinks?
It's entirely up to you guys.
Nope.
Gunther's like, nah, I'm good, and he just leaves.
Are there like shops in
Oh
town?
my god.
Lesyra does.
Oh,
Excellent.
no. Okay, I have to watch this.
All right.
Gunther hasn't left, but he's looking.
All right. So, Lesyra, you approach the bar, and this barkeep kind of looks up at you. He's kind of got a bit of a almost like a beard coming in, like he's got this sort of stubbly gruffness about him.
Do goblins normally have beards?
Not typically,
Huh.
but then again, there's not a lot of real typical shit about this town. Usually all goblins are male, but then you have plaths in the office. This guy kind of looks at you, and you see him kind of like muttering to himself. I'll get you to roll an insight check real quick.
Okay.
Okay. You figure that he's trying to like translate in his head like into common as best he can. And he points at himself and he says, "Me, Strogs, you drink?"
I like Lesyra's new name.
I drink.
I drink.
I drink, I'm dead.
Lesyra takes a moment and then she says, "What's the strongest drink you got?"
Oh my god.
Oh,
Strogs kind of scratches at his lip and he goes, strong drink," and then he muddles around under the bar for a bit and he pulls up what appears to be a bucket with like this liquid sloshing around inside of it, and he pulls up this fruit.
Oh no, not a fruit again!
Yep, and then takes out a sort of like a mason jar kind of glass.
Is this the same fruit?
This is a different fruit.
Okay.
He kind of cuts it in half and then squeezes some of it in, and not a lot of juice comes out of it, but the juice comes out of it smells pretty strong.
Oh boy.
about a thimble of fruit, puts the rest of it onto the counter, takes some of the bucket of indefinitive fluid, and
Whatever
then
that
tips
is.
it into the mason jar, and then he pulls up another mason jar,
Oh my
and
god.
you can see it sort of crawling with bugs, and he twists open the top, pops it open, and pulls
Lesyra
one
stops him right there. and she just goes, "What the hell are you doing?"
he looks at you like kind of befuddled, and he says, "Strong drink." And you can see him holding in his hand is like this, almost like a night crawler kind of bug.
Oh my god.
It's strong drink.
Lesyra, just
You already rolled like your constitution,
Yep.
didn't you?
You go.
Too
Go
bad.
for
You
it.
gotta drink it.
Gotta eat a bug. Be the second time we beat a bug in the past.
I'm rolling this again because she was not expecting this.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Weenie.
Drink the bug.
She goes through with it.
Drink the bug.
All right, so he nods, and he takes this night crawler that's kind of still alive, writhing around in his fingers, and he takes like the head of it, and he just kind of twists it off, and then he squeezes it into the jar, and just all this fluid comes out of it in there. And he takes his finger and he swirls it around inside to mix it all up, and then he pushes it across the bar to you, and he says, and you see him sort of holds up 2 fingers, then 1, then 2, then 1, and he goes, this many gold, and then he holds up 2 fingers toward you.
So Lesyra reluctantly sets two gold down on the bar.
Alrighty. Alright. So you hand him the 2 gold, and you take this quote unquote drink. What would you like to do? Yeah.
So Lesyra turns to the party, and in Draconic she says, "If this kills me, I want all of you to just destroy this fucking town."
Gunther's the only one that doesn't understand that, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
Gunther's just saying, they're like, what the fuck did she just say? What did you do, Lesyra?
Gunther, all you see is her take this drink, turn around, and then speak in horrible tongues.
Yep.
And
And then she
after
downs it.
yes, and then
Give
after
her the vine.
yes, after she's done saying that, she downs it.
Oh
you
my
just
God.
neck the whole thing.
Well, how big is it actually?
It's probably a small glass, but it's like a full glass.
Okay. I thought you meant it was like a shot glass or something. Okay. No, she takes her first sip of it.
All right, you take a sip of the fluid. I'll get a Constitution saving throw from you, and as you lift it to like your mouth, you can smell it.
Oh no.
You get like a bit of a sniff test as you lift it to your mouth, and it smells repugnant. Like, it smells awful. And you take this first sip and you swallow it, and then you feel like the most horrible alcoholic burn you've ever felt in your life. It stings the whole way down. Your eyes water. And it hits your stomach and immediately doesn't sit very well. And
Was there
it's
just
so
straight up drink gasoline?
what you drank, what you think that you've just drank is a mixture of a poisonous fruit, some kind of venom, and maybe like old bathwater. You aren't entirely sure.
Oh God.
Whatever it is, it's incredibly strong, and it's having like an effect on your brain where you can see like anything that's like more than a couple of feet away from you seems to stretch and look really far away. Like your depth perception is stretched.
Oh god.
Oh,
Is she high? Is this the first
Can
time
we
one
roll
of us gets
insight on
high?
this? Is she being high?
Roll an insight check.
All right.
Does Lesyra think she's high?
I went to roll for that.
Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead. Lesyra can roll an insight check to see if she thinks she's high.
So, am I?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Lesyra can roll an insight check to see if she thinks she's high.
Oh,
So,
She has no idea.
no! Oh dear lord!
so Lesyra, you look to your right to yourself and ask yourself, am I high? And then the other you that's standing beside you looks over and says, I'm not sure. I don't think so. We should have another sip. Maybe that'll confirm
Oh
for
my
us.
god!
And then against your own like will, like you're not even in control of your body right now, as like your arm lifts this glass to your mouth and you take another drink. I'll get another constitution save from Lesyra.
Oh my god!
Is this how Lesyra
Oh
dies?
no.
But
God.
do the rest of us think that she's high?
Oh god.
All of you, like you don't see any kind of reaction from Lesyra. You just see her like looking straight ahead, and she just lifts it to her mouth and drinks, and she just has this deadpan expression.
Oh my god!
And that same horrible flavor and smell enters your mouth. Immediately, you feel like all of your taste buds burn, and at the back of your nose, all of your like stuff back there that kind of senses stuff, you feel that just sort of dissolve as you swallow this next like mouthful, and it feels horrible again. And you look to the right, Lesyra, to see the other you that's standing there leaning against the bar, looking you up and down. And you can see, like, she's standing right there, and then there's just this long stretch toward, like, the background. And the other you says to you, backwards, you don't look so good.
And Lesyra just kind of looks at the other her, and then she just kind of looks back at the drink and says, I mean, this still isn't the worst thing we've ever put in our mouths.
Oh my god!
In Draconic, the other you says, yeah, fair enough.
Oh no.
Lesyra, you feel a tap on your shoulder, and you turn around, and you can see the old captain of your ship is there, and in Orcish, he says, you don't look so good. The rest of you see Lesyra spin around, and like she just spills this drink all over the place.
And then she starts sobbing.
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
Oh no.
Lesyra drops the glass and it hits the ground and smashes. And you can see like there's like mold on the wood where it hits the ground, and it just kind of immediately you see the mold like sizzle and bubble away.
Oh.
That's from that save that should be legal.
Yeah.
Dear God, you just fed her rat poison.
Lesyra, you watch this the old captain, he just kind of fades into the ether in front of you, and like you reach out toward him, but then the wall behind him stretches further and further away, and you see like your arm ahead of you reaching out. The floor twists upward to meet your hand and then shoots toward your face as you guys watch Lesyra just like fall forward and flat onto the ground.
Okay.
And she's gone.
Yeah, no, Faye's gonna go over there and just kind of like, okay, this is enough. It's time for bed.
Yep.
Like she just see her spin around. She drops the drink. She's crying, and then she just falls forward and just smack, and she's out. And Struggs on the other side of the bar is like still cleaning one of the mason jars there, and he seems completely unfazed. Like he's seen this a million times, and he's just like, strong drink.
Yeah, that might be an overkill drink.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. So is she like out or?
Oh, she's gone, dude.
Okay, yeah, no, Faye goes over and just like picks her up, and then she looks at the bartender and she's like, maybe it isn't a very good idea to feed like literal like oil, like rat poison to your patrons. Just keep that in mind next time. Maybe go with the second strongest next time.
He kind of shrugs. And what would you like to do with Lesyra's body?
First of all, I say we feel for her pulse.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea. Maybe I should. I may have to spare the dying. You
All right.
never know.
Roll a medicine check for me, Faye.
Faye's are the party's EMT at this point.
All right, you can feel her pulse. Like Lesyra is sweating. Like it feels like she's running a fever, and her heart is still pumping. Like she's having a hard time breathing properly, but she's alive.
Okay, well,
She's just like super unconscious.
Okay, I think Faye's like, okay, we need to get her to bed, and then I'm going to like just try to somehow fix this so she doesn't die in the middle of the night.
We might need some water. She might need that.
I think water may be an understatement, Gunther.
Is Gunther even there?
Yes.
Gunther's there. He was just watching.
Oh, okay.
He was watching the whole time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should probably get her.
Yeah.
Struggs behind the bar says 2 gold for room.
Yeah.
We don't get a discount for basically killing your patrons? All right, cool.
No, he doesn't seem to care at all.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay, I give him the 2 gold.
All right. So you hand the goblin the 2 gold, and he stashes it away in his apron. You can see like the apron was like an apron designed for a human that's just kind of been cut off at the bottom, and he just kind of stuffs it away in what would be like the breast pocket, but it's now like kind of a waist pocket. And you wander up to one of the rooms and head inside. The beds you find they're actually like human-sized beds. They seem to be the beds that were there from the town before everything that went down. And it's in reasonably good condition.
They seem clean.
It seems pretty clean.
Cool.
Do I know if there's anything I could like mix up to like help Lesyra a little bit, like potion-wise?
Roll a apothecary, I guess. Check. Do you want me to roll it for you?
Let me see if it goes through. It might. I think you'll be fine this time.
Okay.
No,
All right, I'll roll it. So, there it is. Never mind. We used the first one. You can think of a hangover cure that involves like a ginger root and things like that. You're not sure if you have anything on you that could help. There is. You remember picking up some sort of like a grass sort of thing at some point, and it's something that like you can chew on to have like an effect similar to something that would like ease your stomach and cure like a headache.
Right.
Just like tobacco leaves, you can just chew on them. But it's important not to like swallow the whole thing. Like you just kind of chew it and then spit it out. But yeah, you could probably like grind that down into like a fluid and then put that into like a glass and stir it up with some water, and maybe that'll help.
Okay. I guess if that's the case, I could either go see if like they have anything I could use like the local market, or just go around and see if I can find some herbs.
Okay.
Spend some time doing that.
So Diana takes her leave from the inn to go and hunt down some stuff and check the town out. Is Gunther going with her, or?
Yeah, I'll go with her.
All right. And is Faye staying behind to just check on Lesyra's vitals?
She's gonna get like a wet cloth just to like kind of reduce the fever and just kind of do what she can to...
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I need to roll their medicine or?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, you kind of have to keep reapplying it because she's like writhing around in her sleep and like slapping away at invisible fairies and like
Oh my god.
all kinds of wild shit going on.
Fuck.
So while you're looking after Lesyra, Diana and Gunther, you head out into the town and you do find a small marketplace. Some of the stalls that are set up there seem to be some that match the rest of the buildings, implying that they were there before the takeover from the goblins. But there's also a few there that seem to be some real makeshift slapdash sort of thrown together small ones that the goblins seem to have built.
All right.
Most of them are selling like vegetables and general living sort of stuff. Like they trade amongst each other to get the things that they need rather than purchasing from one another. And you do find like some herbs and the like as well.
Okay.
If you're looking to like buy some, you would have to do it soon though, because like it's starting to get into evening and a few of the stalls are starting to pack up.
Yeah, so
Well,
we'd be looking for one that sells herbs and stuff. Is that it?
Yeah, but you do find one that sells like herbs and stuff.
Okay.
I'll get Diana to roll a investigation check to look for the ingredient that she's after. Yeah.
Gunther will help if she can tell him what it should look like.
yeah, she can do that.
All right. So Diana explains like the general makeup of this grass that she's looking for, and like the ginger root and stuff. And yeah, you guys happen to find like the exact ingredients that you're looking for amongst all the other stuff. Like there's cat's tail and all kinds of things like that. Not actual cat's tail. Like a herb that kind of resembles it.
Diana like has a freaking like panic attack if she saw that. She'd be like, "No!"
Yeah, it's a
Burn this
herb
whole
that
village down.
it's a herb that grows by like the riverside, but it
Yeah,
kind
I
of got
know
its
what it
name from
is.
that because it. Anyway.
Yeah.
So you take the ingredients that you need and pay the man about 3 gold. Which he takes the gold and then he kind of bites down on it to make sure it's real, and puts it away. I'll get you to roll an inside check on that as well if you want to.
Yep.
Do you want to?
I'm curious because you just bit a piece of perfectly good gold.
Typically, so that kind of practice is to like you bite down on it and try and bend it to make sure that the coin is real. Gunther, you suspect that this goblin is doing it because he's seen someone else do it and he thinks it's a smart thing to do. He doesn't actually understand why he's biting down on the coin.
He just doesn't actually know what that means.
He just thinks everyone does that.
Mm-hmm. It's just a thing that he as a merchant should do, he thinks. baby
That's
steps with these guys.
insanity.
It is gross. So yeah, you purchase these bits and bobs. What would you guys like to do?
Well, before we head back, since the stores are really starting to close, are there like any other kinds of like interesting looking stores?
Lesyra's dying, and Diana's like, you know what? We should just go shopping.
She made her own choice.
She is right.
I mean, to be fair, Lesyra did watch him squeeze a bug into the drink and still drank it.
Yeah, she did this to
Diana's like, that's
herself.
her own damn fault.
You know, I also kind of want to see if there's anything that would be interesting. Maybe something that like that's made by them. Just out of curiosity, do they have anything like that?
You do actually find, as you're wandering around, a couple of stores that seem to be selling farming equipment, but farming equipment that's like scaled down and made to fit goblins. And like it doesn't look quite as safe as the normal farming equipment you would see back in town. Like it looks very like thrown together from scrap metal and stuff, and it looks like a prop from a horror movie.
Like you'd
But,
feel like the head of a hoe would just fly off if they swung it.
Oh yeah. Might take a couple of hacks to chop someone's head off with it, but you know, you can give it a try. But it's there's a couple of things that like you would see normally on a farm where they would have hooked up to say a cow or a horse to sort of pull like a trough. And this there seems to be one that's made like to help till the fields. And it looks to be made to fit something of a smaller scale than like a horse or a cow. Something that a goblin could lead without it freaking out and trying to kill the goblin. But yeah, that's mostly what it is. It's like farming supplies and things like that. They don't really have any interesting equipment sort of stores.
Just a very like basics for like
Do they
A little
even
town.
farm?
Yes, actually. So their primary export and their thing that keeps them living is just farmed food. Like they're almost entirely vegetarian because they don't really have livestock. You kind of gather that the horses and the cattle are kind of freaked out by goblins and won't really work well with them. They get spooked too easy. Any milk that a cow would produce would be soured frequently by the fact that there's goblins all around this cow, and it perceives them as a horrible threat.
I mean, they're
And
goblins, so
the-
fair enough.
Yeah, so they don't really have any livestock. It's more like vegetables and farmland. And they seem to be doing a pretty good job of keeping that going.
well, I mean, at least they'll be able to like help the people back in Passage survive for the next few months.
Yeah.
They'll do it fine. Well, if there's nothing else of interest, we should probably head back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably should.
So you return to the Dundarum tap house and head up to the room where Lesyra is. And Faye's there trying to like cool down the little wet towel that you put on her forehead again.
I feel like Faye's like holding her down. She like sees them come in. She's like, "It took you so long. What happened?"
It's been 15 minutes.
Yeah, but like
It's
you
been
can
like
see,
it's been like an hour for her.
yeah, you can see Lesyra like swatting around and like occasionally she mutters cobras.
Oh my
Um,
I'm sorry, mutters what?
cobras.
She was talking about platypuses 5 minutes ago.
And I'll get you to make an apothecary check which I'll roll for you if you want,
Yeah.
to successfully create something that'll save her
Oh my god.
from whatever it is she's going through right now.
Please.
So you start like grinding up some of these this grass that you found, and you put the ginger root in like some water for it to sort of seltzer up, and tip the mix of the grass stuff into the fluid and mix it up, and you kind of force feed it to Lesyra. Like you hold her nose and like tilt her jaw open and tip it down her throat, massage the neck.
I was gonna say that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Just first feed it to Lesyra.
Yeah, so you force feed her this this healing drink, and almost immediately you see like her fever go down, and she stops like flailing about. After about 15-20 minutes of you like sort of force feeding little sips to her, Lesyra, you start to come back into consciousness, and you have like you wake up and you're dizzy. Everyone's kind of sitting around you like on the bed, and there's like this horrible taste in your mouth, and for a moment you feel like you've spent the night with someone, but then you like sort of properly come to, and you're like, oh god, what?
Do I remember all of those visions I had?
You kind of do, yeah. You very foggily remember, like, turning to your right and seeing an exact duplicate of you, like, speaking to you. The words come out mumbled and jumbled up. You turn you turn around, but it feels like you spin for a few seconds, and then you see, like, the image of, like, is it Kirigube?
Yeah.
Sort of come into view, and then he opens his mouth and speaks, and it's all just like garbled, foggy gibberish. You can't really quite remember what he was saying. And then like you see him kind of fade away, and everything goes black. And it's kind of like what you remember from drinking that that drink.
Lesyra just kind of like looks around the room, and she just says, what how long was I out?
Like how long? How long has she been out? Like an hour?
Oh, it's been like about 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
We
wow.
went fast.
Yeah, you went straight out to the marketplace is like right by the entrance to like the tap house.
Oh.
Well, not long enough to die.
Apparently, yeah.
Where did the other me go?
What?
You need to lay down again.
I'm already laying down.
Is she? I thought she was up. I'm sorry.
Well, you're
I mean, she never left the bed.
yeah,
No, I thought
you're
she
still
was
in the
sitting
bed.
up. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's cool.
Not stupid.
Well, kind of in a lying down but propped up by her elbows kind of state.
Yeah, then she needs to lay down.
Diana just says, she went home.
Don't encourage this. Like, just see Faye, like, shit, don't encourage it, stop.
Do you want something to eat?
We could get you some dragon jerky.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was gonna offer. I was just waiting for a
Yeah,
yes or no answer.
I think after this experience, it might be a good idea to not have dinner here.
Yeah.
We have jerky, we have enough. We have 149
I mean, we
units.
also have rations, too, so...
You imagine that the barkeep, if you had asked him like about this, would be like, no outside food, but like you like You're up in the room.
We're in our
He's not
yeah,
gonna
we're in
know.
our room. Fuck him.
He doesn't know that. What he doesn't know won't hurt him. They just get some jerky out. Because, Christ, nothing here.
Yeah.
After what we saw with Lesyra, I don't want to know what the food does.
Nope.
So, Gunther, you take out this the jerky and share it with everyone.
Yeah, I have 149 units. How many
You have a lot.
units does it take to feed us?
Say about 2 each.
Alright.
We've had this for a while, but it's the first time we actually try it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh god, is this gonna hurt us?
You bite down on the jerky and take a good bite and chew it. And as you're chewing it, it feels kind of like tingly in your mouth as you chew.
It's a feeling I can live with if I get to eat.
Yeah, it tastes fine. Tastes like some decent meat. Like it's
Feels
been, it's been like dried out quite well. Like it's fine.
I was gonna make a joke and
It
say, does it
just-
smell like Pip's house?
Oh my god.
It just has a bit of an electric taste. It's fine.
Yeah, that's
There's
exactly
cheese in
what it
my
tastes
mouth.
like. Yeah. But yeah, you wolf down some of this, and you feel decently enough full. Looking about the room, there's actually 2 beds in here. So either you can share this room and some of you can sleep on bedrolls on the floor, or you can get another room for anyone else. Up to you guys.
I have a
It's
bedroll.
only 2 gold.
I have a bedroll. I can sleep on the floor.
Wow, Mr. Krabs.
But yeah, I think we all have bedrolls.
It might be good to just stay together, especially in Lesyra's case, because we may
Yeah.
need to just keep an eye on her.
We can also start at the
In
boot
case,
camp.
like, in case her heart stops in the middle of the night.
I mean, she seems fine now.
We can also start at the boot camp.
Pretty okay. So you seem like Lesyra seems reasonably okay. She looks like she's fucking been through some shit, but she's come out alive. Make a full recovery.
Well, I can stay in this room considering I paid for it.
Fair enough.
With Lesyra. And I don't know if you guys want to get another one or just stay here. That's fine as well.
I can
I'll
stay
just use a
here.
bedroll. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
You want me to set up the boot camp?
We could have ate the
Boot
boots.
camp.
Yeah, it's true, but I forgot. And also,
Oops.
we got to taste the dragon jerky, so that's
It's
something.
probably nice to change it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get Gunther to roll an insight check real quick.
Give me a moment. Where is it? There it is.
Cool. You kind of think that setting up the boot camp in this room would be a less than stellar idea because there's a lot of goblins around, and just if one of them happens to pass by, it's a small room. If one of them happens to pass by
that's
the
right,
room,
because
like
the area
it'll
goes
just go off.
Yeah, because the area
Yeah.
would go through the wall as well.
I
Yep.
don't think Lesyra needs anyone screaming in her ear in the middle of the night.
Yeah, okay, I won't set it up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if Lesyra wakes up and sees a boot screaming in the middle of the night, she's gonna think she's tripping again.
She's like, oh god, guys!
Yeah, like I drank more of the drink. Just when she thinks she's safe, it's like 14:08. Like it just keeps going. She's like, "Oh no,
Just end
I'm
it.
still here."
Someone's gonna have to teach that goblin how to make drinks.
Yeah.
Lesyra
like
just quietly says, "Guys, If a bartender offers you a strange fruit, never drink it.
Are you saying this happened before?
That sounds like solid advice.
Solid
This
life
may
advice.
have happened before.
When was that?
Well, yeah, you went to Taal, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what happened, remember?
the
Holy
party.
shit,
The
yeah.
party wasn't there, but also I didn't watch the video. So I
Yeah,
don't
but we
know.
watched it.
I didn't.
Yeah. Oh.
You should have.
Yeah, but I
watched
have
it.
other things to do. I can't just sit there.
Rewatch the entire campaign, start to finish. Okay, go.
I mean, to be fair, that section's only like an hour long.
Yeah, it's just I haven't gotten to it.
Anyway, you guys sit up in the room here and get some rest, and make it through the night with little to no interruptions. There's like some ruckus from downstairs as the goblins get a bit rowdy here and there, but nothing to like really wake you from your sleep entirely. And as it gets to around the morning, I think this might be a good place to call a break for some foodstuffs because I am
Alright.
hungry.
I'm
Same.
gonna stop the
Yeah,
recording now.
that's a
then.
good idea.